All right, we are live right now. We're broadcasting live, guys. Thanks for joining us. Let me just make sure it's working right on our end. All right, looks pretty good. Okay, guys, I want to thank you for joining us with another Monday Q&A. We are waiting for Mr. Brice Kelly to jump on. He should be on shortly. But again, I want you guys to get your questions ready. We'll definitely try to get to them. I actually hold them to the end of the Q&A. Hopefully within about 30 minutes, we may go through the questions that you're going to ask. I think we have about Dave, about 15 questions.
Yeah, we have definitely a good amount here.
Okay, so but we want you guys to Ryan, we want you guys to jump in too. So yeah, there we go. So we'll talk a little bit about the PDR workshop, guys. If you guys are interested, we're doing a free PDR workshop, I believe, on June 23rd. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So June 23rd is a free PDR workshop where we basically go over paintless dent repair, the ins and outs about it. If you actually want to see us do large damage, we can do that today. It depends on the crowd. So please join us on the 23rd of June. It will be at Dentless Touch Waldorf location. And the link is in the description under pdrworkshop.com. Go ahead and check it out. Dave, Ryan, you want to plug yourself? I know, Ryan, you're still getting situated.
Dave from Chicago, Windy City Dent Repair.
PS Dent Repair out of Baltimore. Sorry, I'm trying to eat my dinner. Chris and I just got back from doing some hail cars today, so don't mind me.
All right, guys. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm going to just roll out a few questions when Brice jumps online. And then Dave is going to take it from there, or Ryan's going to take it from there. You probably can hear my voice. So, Nick, what's up, buddy? Jess. Benny, you're on. I know you're on. How you making out? On tonight, 4 a.m. Baltimore. Woo. Well, stop by, Benny. I'll be in Baltimore.
He's coming to Baltimore today? Tomorrow?
He said he's gonna tonight, 4 a.m.
What?
I'm gonna make it along tonight, fellas. 4 a.m. Baltimore tomorrow. So, yeah, he's coming to Baltimore 4 a.m. So, let's grab breakfast. I think I'll be there quite early. So,
you early? Come on.
So, always.
Hey, look at that. We're good to go. I'm ready. I'm ready to glue pull another Subaru roof right now.
Ryan, do you want to elaborate, or Dave, do you want to elaborate on the PDR workshop some more? Maybe share some insight about what we're trying to do, if you guys can.
Go for it, Davo.
We're going to be putting on a workshop. We're having everyone come out. If you're trying to get in, if you're in it, in the industry, trying to get in the industry, we're going to be trying to just give, all the info we can to you guys. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I just can't wait. I'm trying to get situated with it myself. So
this is our fourth one, right?
Yes.
Fourth one, third one, I think it is. So have everything ready for you guys. Jay. Thumbs up on the way. Slick. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, man, we got some regulars in here, man. Some regulars, man. I'm looking for my guy. Was it C. Miller? Let me see, man. Let me see. Yeah, C. Miller. Where is he at? So, guys, as we're waiting for Brice to jump online, hopefully it will be in a few moments. He is texting me now, so he's saying about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to Brice. Brice is a top-notch tech in the industry, so this is going to be definitely a good show. Definitely
He's a beast.
He is
definitely a beast.
I mean, his repairs, the way he explains the process, everything is. I mean, it's beautiful from him being a tech and the repairs that he does on cars to the way he explains how we do so well. I mean, I get what we do to someone else, and it's hard trying to paintless debt repair. No, it's not auto body, and I think the way that Brice, it just kind of rolls off his tongue, and it sounds so nice with the way he explains it to customers. Yeah, we're gonna have a good conversation, I think.
How's your guy Dave doing, Dave?
He's doing well. We, he's 20 years old, so the challenges with that are fun within itself. But as a tech and as just growing as a person and as a tech, it's fun. It's a learning experience for me. It's a learning experience for him. And we're both jiving. We're both going through it. Repairs, it's taken some time.
Of course.
It's challenging for him. It's taken some time. And it's fun to watch him progress, but also get frustrated. But it can also, it's a double-edged sword. It's nice, but it's also frustrating for me too that he's not, I think, picking it up as fast as he thought he would. But that's okay, and it's fine. So I'm trying to document the entire thing for you guys, so you can kind of see hopefully the end story being a success. So it's still fun. It's still in the works though.
we all forget how frustrating it was,
at the beginning
when we started.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I almost quit 1 year in. I almost quit. I'm probably gonna share that in my little PDR story, but I definitely 1 year and I said I might have to start looking for another profession.
It's tough, and especially being a kid, and I think a young kid wanting to, maybe succeeding at everything or half-assing stuff and still getting away with it and succeeding.
Exactly.
You can't half-ass this. You can't half-ass this art, this skill that we have, especially in the beginning, because you will create bad habits as a tech. And
Definitely,
it's taking me back to the basics, which is fun, and always, a challenge for a seasoned tech going back to the basics and really trying to pinpoint and also explain what we do to someone else. It's tough, but it's fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I didn't quit. For sure.
Yeah. James Brown said, "How long did it take for you guys to say finally I got it?" For me, it was around the 3-year mark, and we actually have a guest in here too. Who was a great mentor for me. And I thank him. I think every time we get off the phone, regardless of our conversation, I always say thank you. Just because he helped me so much grow as a tech, but he also saw within the 3 years of what I was capable of as a tech. And that validation was enough for me to kind of okay, now I need to push it more and more. So, yeah, if about 3 years was when it
3 years
quote unquote got it.
Yeah,
James,
go ahead.
James says, "How long does it take till you step back and say I got it?" I'm still trying to figure it out, James.
That's the fun part, because it's you never really have it. It's there's new cars, new metal, new dent, new damage. I've never done this damage before. It's tough. It's tough, and it's tough.
The funny thing is, I was talking to Brice today, and he says, "Man, I just improvise." And I thought about it, and I said, "That's what makes a great tech. I think just the ability to improvise. I think this job is not set in stone like a video game." And to your point, Dave, you're right. At 18, 19, 20 years old, you could pretty much 2 months. Whether it be a video game, you're memorizing the keys to jump and to shoot or whatever the case may be. But
I put a controller in my hand now. I can't remember the left joystick and the right.
I'm trying to remember Final Cut Pro, shortcuts and then, man. But it's crazy because, at that age, I remember I was playing basketball and it was I was mediocre. So, but, I could look at the coach and be like, well, you told me to run this and I did it. And didn't, I can kind of blame other people too, but when you're sitting there pushing the dent, it's on you. That guy beside you can fix it. You can't.
I think the other thing is there's no right way.
Yeah, true.
There's so many different ways. Yeah.
All three of us have worked together and we would all attack a dent completely differently.
Completely.
Why are you using that tool? I would use this tool. I mean, Chris and I did it today. You know, he's
even
like,
today.
so you know, you got to look at the whole industry and say there is no right or wrong. Just figure it out and get the dent out clean.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan was sitting there looking at what we did with the Subaru hood today, or whatever it is. It's a Saab, and he's like, "Why are you working from that angle?" Ah. And then, boom, worked it from that angle, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, you're right." But that's just it. It's just Ryan's approach on that particular dent was way better than my approach at the end of the day. So
now, what was that? Just a difference in experience, or is that just what you're comfortable with?
Well, I had a situation. I'll share it in the vlog. I'm for the guys that follow me in this channel, I'm gonna probably starting a vlog. You'll see more of as Dave likes to do, the inside of the dent. So anyway, it was just pure laziness on me. I think I didn't have all my tools, and that was one of the vlog topics that we're gonna go off of.
It should be a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one because I had my TDN card. It's kind of half done, but I'm running to the car like 7 times during this
and I'm
hell
just
car.
laughing. I'm like, yep, still.
And he's pushing away. Meanwhile, you're watching him just get more dents done as I'm going back and forth to the truck, and it's like so the area that he wanted me to approach that dent, I had to put a trim panel. My little trim, what is it called? A trim tool?
Panel
tool?
popper.
Panel popper. And mine's in the car. So I was like, I already been out there 4 times. I'm getting on the dent, but I'm kind of wrapped around with a whale tail. I was like, oh man, I do not want to go back on the car. He laugh at me. And he's like, why don't you just go through? I got a panel popper right over there. And can I borrow it? Popped it 2 seconds. I was like, man, I gotta get my go bag together, man.
He made a bunch of. I'm just watching walk to the car. Just getting started on this hood. I'm almost done the roof.
Yeah, sad, yo. I was out of rhythm, like we went to lunch and I was like, I'm just so focused on what's going on in the business because I'm away and we got warranty claims coming in. So it's just, my mind wasn't in the game. And so second car, I felt as though I did a lot better. And then the third car was pretty good. Yeah, the Subaru. Yeah, it was a Subaru. So first car was just.
The third car, I was done. Yeah.
And that'll slow you down, like your head not being in it or getting a phone call or something like that. Yeah. That can completely mess up a repair or the rhythm of the repair.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to get back. What tool was I using?
Music helps me a lot.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, music helps. When you're working with someone else, it's like if you're not in sync, then stuff's thrown off. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like me and Ryan, like there was one point where like just headphones and go, like go, and like that was
yeah. It's crazy though when you link up when you're around other dent guys. At least for me, you always want to talk about the industry, different changes, and different tactics. So you really just not focusing about the repair. So it's crazy.
But it comes so second nature,
Yeah.
Like it's and that's what I'm learning with myself and having someone else now. That it's not second nature. So I have to explain the processes of what I'm doing, and it's challenging for someone sitting there trying to watch you do it. And it's, it's super easy, but then you're on the phone, you're writing an email, a text message, and fixing a dent all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's been, and you get some of these weird cars. I mean, Chris and I ran into the car today with an aftermarket sunroof. With this stretch headliner, it's already hanging down. And there were a couple good shots in that car. And Chris and I were like, I guess we're going to glue. We ended up glue pulling the whole roof.
Yeah.
So, you get these chances to where it throws you a curveball. Or like this afternoon, I had that aluminum hood that was honeycombed with 200 dents in it.
Yeah.
So, and you get to a point to where you're putting yourself in a bad situation at the body shop because the car's been there for 2 days because you're backed up on hail. You're going to go to them and say, oh, man, I can't fix this hood. It needs a hood.
Yeah, they're banking on that car to be done.
Yeah, done.
Really,
So, you
That was a
know.
little rough.
But
James Brown, what kind of music motivates you guys? I listen to rap music all day long.
I listen
All
to
day
James Brown.
I like that joint. I ain't gonna lie, I like it.
I
I
listen
listen to the
rap music all day long.
Spotify. I think it's called Focus sometimes, especially when I'm in the shop. I think it's a Spotify playlist called Focus.
Yeah.
And then I listen to a chill. I can't remember what it is, like chill beats or something. Chill music. So it's kind
In
of
the
mix
morning,
of
I'll
like
try to get like
Miguel a little bit.
I'll try to get like a podcast or like an audiobook in. I'll try. But
Oh,
then
yeah,
like
that's my thing, yeah.
repairing, and then like repairs, it's music, and then like in between, I'll try to get like a snippet or two of like random audiobooks that I have just kind of
Yeah.
piled up and go back to it, listen to it for a little bit.
The
But
audiobooks for me. Go ahead.
yeah, but just when I'm in the repair, it's music.
Yeah, when I'm in the repair or hail car, like the audiobooks, I get deep in those bad boys. I actually have a note that I take notes. I have no problem with repairs taking notes. I love audiobooks. Yo. I have probably over 100 audiobooks now. I love
Oh
them.
wow.
Yeah, so I share them. I give them. You should see my bookcase. It's full. So
When you got all
I'm
that free
definitely deep
time,
in them.
you got all that free time, you
Well,
can sit back and read a book.
Well, I say for every audiobook that I buy the book. It's just something I have to do. It forces me to at least look at that book, remember that book. I'm like, if I don't see it, I forget about it. So my bookcase is right in front of me, and I can actually see the dent. Like I need to read that Tools of a Titan. I'm looking right at that book right now, going, man.
So
Got to read that book.
We got another plug here. I don't know if you guys have ordered the new James Lee Eliminate Light. It was launched, I believe, one day last week. So if you don't have it, he's giving pretty big discounts. EliminateTools.com. You know, go on there and get his new light. It's got a bat vac hook to it, an oval suction cup. It looks like a killer board. So they should be out. I
Yeah,
think he's
it's got a
Makitas.
bunch of new features, like a bunch of new, like little, like thoughtful features that you normally like if you have any other board or an older version of his board. They don't compare. Just from like the quick snippets that I saw, just I like the options that you have. Like it's
definitely
really, really thought out.
All right. Figured it out.
There you go. There you go. We were texting back and forth.
I was having some browser difficulties.
I should have told you Chrome is probably better. I don't know if you.
Yeah, that's what I did. I used Chrome. So
there you go.
So what is happening, fellas?
What's up,
How are
Bryce?
ya?
You can see all my kids' artwork in the background.
So guys, we finally have Brice Kelly from Central Florida Dent Repair.
Excited to be here, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, definitely.
So we're gonna get right to it. We have a series of questions. First of all, we always kind of plug ourselves. Where can I get in contact with you? You know, your company's name, all that good stuff.
Well, Brice Kelly with Central Florida Dent Repair. You can contact me at bryce@cfldentrepair.com. Or you can go on to Facebook. I've got a Facebook page active. I haven't been tending to it lately, though, as much as I should be. But it's too busy. But
it's hard. It's hard to keep it up with that.
Man, it's hard work. PDR is hard work, man.
Yeah,
we work hard every day. So, yeah, 386-216-5185. If you have any questions, man, call me anytime.
Perfect.
Yeah, I randomly will message Bryce out of the blue on Facebook. Like,
I don't
need
mind
help with this. And like, he's
Yeah.
probably done it before and he's definitely given recommendations or help. So,
yeah, I don't know everything, but if I can help, I certainly will.
Nice.
Certainly will.
So we'll get into it. Bryce, how did you get into the industry? Can you tell us a little bit about kind of your back end story?
Sure. Yeah. Well, basically, it started out as me working for my father at a auto repair shop. He owns a shop here locally. 25 years. Well, actually, 27 years he's been there, and He asked me to come work for him right out of, I was in audio engineering school, believe it or not.
Wow.
And shows you how much I use that. Not much, but he actually, me and him were like kind of oil and water working together, you know, and he basically said, I think it's time for a change. I think you should probably get into something different. And I went in my separate way. It was probably the best decision ever because he recommended, sure enough, paintless dent repair. So,
You saw it, huh?
yeah, and I went to look up a bunch of companies, and sure enough, I found rightlook.com, and that was the starting point of just a huge change in my life. And I learned the fundamentals. I'm not going to badmouth anybody, because everybody's got their opinions about everything. But I had a really good instructor at Right Look, and needless to say, I'm probably one of the only guys in my class that's actually still doing it, believe it or not.
Wow.
From what I recall. That was 2003.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice.
came out of that, training mill session there. That was $8,000 later. Got my gold package of tools, and I still use them to this day, man. I find myself using them a lot. But yeah, so basically, I got the word out there that I was doing dent repair out of my father's shop for, the first, 3 or 4 months of me working with dent repair. And I had a bunch of signs out there. People would just randomly stop in and I'd say, oh, it's time to do a dent repair. And I'd whack the dent all up and make it 10 times worse than it was when it first came in. And I could not get paid for the life of me for the first, year of doing dent repair. It was so bad. But I got a phone call one day from just a guy that he worked at an auction, and he found my business card in a puddle of water at a gas station. And as he was looking down, he grabbed my card, my Vistaprint free card, business card. And he's like, yeah, we need a dent guy down here. My other dent guy's boozing it up. So I, sure enough, went down there, and they had like 500 cars on a line sitting there waiting for me. And that was the best thing to ever happen. Just the freedom of, experimenting, being able to experiment. That's what really changed everything. So enough of me. Go ahead.
Well, it's all you. It's your hour.
Oh, it's all me.
You're the man of the hour.
Oh,
so let's fast forward current day. Let's walk us through as soon as your feet hit the floor. Walk us through your one day of Brice Kelly, your average day.
Well, average day. Well, I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, and I have to make coffee because my wife will kill me if I don't make coffee. So that happens first. That's first and foremost. And so I'll basically scroll through all the text messages that I received from the day before, because what I usually do is I have a system in place where, when I'm working, I try to stay away from my phone. That's the biggest thing. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's how I have it work for me. Being a one-man operation, the phone calls will basically get put on hold. I'll maintain contact with customers through text messages saying that, it'll be 24 hours before I get back to you. So go through all my text messages from the following day, or the previous day, and just kind of, give out rough ballpark price ranges. And it's like fishing. And whoever wants to bite, those are the ones that I'm doing business with. And I know it's kind of a broken system, but honestly, it works for me, and I stay constantly 1 month to a month and a half out. So fortunately, I'm very blessed in that sense. But there's a lot of work behind that. I do a lot of footwork. Or I did a lot of footwork in the beginning to make that happen. My videos, as you know, help me sell my service.
100%, 100%.
I'm willing to show people the work. That's
and you should,
yeah, and people, they want to see, they want to see transparency. They want to see what the final product looks like on some of these really bad hits. And I'm doing 90% of my work is leftovers. You know, the
Yeah,
nasty.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's the stuff that
Yes.
none of my competition
Yes.
wants to touch, but that's where I make my money.
That's
Mhm.
your niche, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's basically, you know, I schedule probably about maybe, on average, 1 to about 4 jobs a day. That's, you know, how I do it. And today
Okay.
was, you know, let's see, today was like a lease return that the lady was willing to pay whatever it costs, you know, and I spent the day on it. And I had one other one after that on the way home, and it worked out. It was a really nice day. So,
Nice.
but so that's typical day.
All right, Dave, you had some questions. If you want to go over
Sure,
something
man.
that you had.
Windy City.
Yes, yes. I've been following Brice now, so I remember just randomly, I think, finding him, I think on YouTube. It's either Facebook or YouTube, randomly finding him. And then at the time I was, and I still do listen to PDR College, and he was on there, and I was like, oh my God, he's actually talking about these like crazy repairs that he's doing. And ever since then, I've just always like,
That's
to
awesome.
me, yeah, it's like, I just look up to you because of the challenge. Like, you just challenged me to do bigger damage, do bigger damage.
Yeah, no,
because
I
it's
want
possible. Again, I'm seeing that it's possible.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really, that means a lot. You know, I just, I'm trying to set the bar for paintless dent repair. I really am. Every single day that I go out there, I'm trying to basically make us, you know, just more of the. I want people to know that this is their first choice. You know,
Right.
Always.
A
It should be
repair. Yeah.
Absolutely premium. That is the word. And you know, it's just. I don't know, man. Insurance companies, you know, to this day, I don't even like dealing with insurance companies. I like customer. I like just going and getting the check.
Yes.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
you know, like today was a prime example, and you know of how, you know, the insurance companies. Man, I don't know how. I don't even. Should I go into this? On this?
I mean, this
Are
is
we
your
allowed to?
hour.
We've all been there. We all deal with them every
Yeah,
day.
we all. I mean, we've all been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just manipulation, man. And I'm not one to stand for it. I won't. You know, of course, I will negotiate within means. But you know, today was, you know, one of those days, man, where I got this. The customer has done their research. They want to use me on their repair, and the insurance company. Well, we've got this pricing chart, and we go by this. And I said, well, I go by this, and this is how I do this, and you're going to pay me what it's worth, or else I have to, unfortunately, ask the customer to come out of pocket. And they don't want to do that because that's what they have insurance for. You know, but you know, it's just it's like back and forth, and it's like no matter how hard you try to you know, just press this into their head that this is a superior repair, they're stuck on the old fashioned PDR industry. This is a new industry we're in now, and things have changed, man. And they just don't. I don't know if they want to adapt. I don't know.
Do you think it's lack of training on their end? I've noticed a lot of adjusters.
Totally lack of training. And you know, I missed the boat recently. I was supposed to do a Geico. I don't know if I missed the boat, but I probably could have benefited, or we could have both benefited from me doing that. That you know, a little seminar I was supposed to do for them. I just didn't have time, and I don't know. The communication was kind of off, you know, because I'm always working, and you know, it's just
some of the insurance companies are very guarded. They don't like guys like us coming in trying to teach their adjusters because they're thinking we're overcharging, we're backdooring it.
We're not capable, you know.
Exactly.
They're in charge, and we're just nobody.
And then the consistency too, because if they go to another, you know, company, they may not get the same quality repair. So it's kind of off.
Yeah,
it's too much.
The bottom line is it all comes down to money, and they could care less about the quality, or you know, it's all about them keeping the money in in their
at the end of the day, that's like their job.
It is. It's sad,
it's
but
to argue lower pricing.
Yeah, because we have this awesome trade, and we're really good at what we do, and we want to show the world, but we can't because it all comes down to ultimately them saving their money. It's
Money.
come on.
Yeah.
And what we do is just so time consuming, so
Yeah.
And that's why I like, for the longest time it's been a one-man show, and it's tough trying to do all of these things, and
It is,
you have
man.
a wrench thrown like that just kind of ruins the flow of things.
Yep.
Totally.
Because you're just trying to do a good job. And that was one of my questions. It was, were you by yourself? Are you out there by yourself every day? It's just you, your customer, and your cars. And I think you said you're a one-man show.
Yeah, one man. That's it. I do have with me, when I need the help, a former Dent Wizard, two former Dent Wizard technicians that help me out when there's some hail in the area. I just recently had to use a couple of them, and just as subs. And they're really good at what they do, man. Dent Wizard does a good job training their technicians, man. I gotta tell you.
They do.
So I'm blessed to have those two guys to help me out. And
what about with like the bigger damage and the R&I? I mean, that's all you. And
it's all me, man. I do it all, and
No, I know. I know you do. It's just it's actually crazy. You actually saying, yeah, it's me, because I mean some of the repairs and
I don't like doing the R&I. I don't think anybody likes anybody likes doing R&I, but you learn something new every time you take something apart, and if you ever need to do it again, you have the knowledge. So but that's what YouTube's for, right?
Right.
So
plenty of times.
Your average repair, how long does your average repair take on some of that larger stuff? Is it stuff that takes you 2 days? Is it stuff that you get done in 1 day?
That's a great question. The law is that I will get to a repair and I will finish that repair the same day, because I am not coming back. So I will stay at that customer's house until they kick me out. I've never had to come back in 15 years, whatever it is, and finish a repair. I will stay 9 o'clock. But you listen, I mean, my wife is very understanding, and I am blessed to have her be understanding. And there's sometimes I get home at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not gonna lie.
And I talk to these guys every day, and I don't have a wife or children, but and I hear them every day with it's a struggle with the business and the work and the pushing and the repairs and the family too, and that's great. And
if you don't have the right woman, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah, you said it. Yeah. Listen, I mean, I go balls to the wall 5 days a week, and I'm home on the weekends. My phone is, I set my voicemail up for the weekends, just stating, clearly stating my hours, and I don't have any issues, thank God. But man, I got to tell you, it's a game. You got to know how to play the game, or else, it's like you're trying to keep up with those reviews, and if you just for 1 second miss that call, or you don't call that person back, you better be good at that phone work, because it'll bite you, man. Like
100%.
Those reviews will catch you in the ASS, man, big time.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I do a lot of phone work. So
Bryce, I know at the beginning you said you were having a hard time repairing dents, obviously the first couple of months. And so when did you actually take the path much trying the impossible? I know for me it's been
repeat that one more time. Sorry, you were freezing up there in a minute. Go ahead.
Basically, when did you decide to kind of do the impossible, to kind of distinguish yourselves from the rest?
That's a great question. I think it came to me when I was at the auction, and all I did was the worst of the worst in terms of just trying to make push nothing into something, and basically push the paint on every car that came through. I realized that I don't know. I just saw like there's so much possibility in making something perfect. You know, you can make it perfect. There is a way to do it. But if you could just get it to where it's sellable and maybe just a bit to the next level, you know, that's going to be my market. That's what I thought. I said, you know what, that's what I want to specialize in. I want to specialize in making some really nasties into something. And I think that happened in 2012. Realistically, you know, I kind of I flipped the switch and I was like, man, I got something here. I'm going to run with it.
And I think that's when I started to really see a lot of that. You were really pumping, I think, pictures,
finishing
video.
Yes. I said, you know what? I want to stand out in my finishing.
Like, yes, you do.
So that's where the transition was. So
nice.
Some of that stuff you put up there, I'm like, there's no way I'd walk from that.
Dude, I know. Listen, it's you gotta be a little crazy, man. Like like a lot crazy, I guess you could say. But you know, you're right, man. Some of the stuff that when I walk up, you know, I see a lot of this stuff in videos. Like I try to get pictures. Pictures are good, but I always try to go for the video. If a customer has a capability to send me a video, that really helps me out tremendously in determining whether it's a good candidate for one and get you a real somewhat close price range. I usually I really make it broad just to see where they're at, you know, because if they come back and they say, oh, whoa, that's crazy. You know, obviously it's not a customer, but they say, do you think it's going to be on the lower end? I say, yeah, it could be on the lower end. Then I get there, it's always on the high end. But that's the rule. That's another rule, another law.
How big of a range do you usually give? 100
Man,
bucks,
I
200 bucks?
I give sometimes I give ranges like a $500 span, you know, sprint. You know, so, but you know, these are like you want that certain customer. I mean, the ones that have done their research, those are the ones that you want. I mean, that's what's worked for me. And I've kind of discovered this kind of niche market where, you know, it's I want the ones that are going to pay out of pocket. I don't want to deal with insurance companies. I just want to go to the house. I want them to show me the car and I start working on it. Give me that credit card. No, I mean, listen, man.
A couple hours and just, I'll call you when I'm done.
It's not. And the ones that leave you alone.
Yes.
You're just by yourself, and you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, someone watching over your shoulder. Those are the ones.
Until it gets to like the 5-6 hour mark, and then they're like, all right, like what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, like you haven't really, I haven't seen you eat, or like you haven't really.
I know.
Right? Like, are you okay? No, I'm good. I'm just trying to get this done.
Yeah,
I'll tell you though, you've definitely, you know, built a name for yourself, because I have a couple buddies that work at Metro Electronics, which is in there in Florida.
Oh yeah, I know Metro.
I talk to him periodically, and my buddy Tom was like, "Do you know Brice Kelly?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's a beast.
That's
like,
funny.
hey, he comes in here and fixes our stuff all the time.
That's funny.
Like, oh. So
I'm not really, dude. I'm a little guy, man. I'm not really a beast.
No, you're a beast.
But
beast,
like
no
I look at the repairs, and you know, if there's even a hope that it can be done using PDR, but it's like just on the border, I'm going for it, because I mean, I know everybody else has probably said no.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just, you know, I actually will drive an hour plus to get to a job that's $1,500, because for one, it's $1,500, and you know, I kind of like when I get to the repair, I kind of, you know, make some phony, you know, like scenario, like my wife and kids are going to be kidnapped if I don't, you know, finish this thing off, and this customer's not happy. So I have to make sure that repair gets done to the highest level possible. So.
Are you already thinking of your plan of attack for that big damage?
Yeah, totally, man. The minute I get there,
that's it. Like, you're already breaking it down.
You got it. I mean, when I get there, I typically will take 5 to 10 minutes just to kind of look at the dent, see how it occurred, what might have hit it, you know, and just kind of recreate, you know, like the deepest section of the dent, like obviously, you know, something, you know, with that shape, you know, hit it. So I'm going to go with, I like to start glue pulling immediately. That's my biggest thing. Like glue pulling is
getting that metal moving and just
exactly. Just create the kind of what's the word here? Just kind of get the structure back, you know, and then start, you know, following with the detail work, you know. So
Do you use cold glue?
yeah, actually, you know what? I use what's that? It's funny, I don't even know the name of it.
Tab tape.
Tab tape. I've got that stuff, and yeah, Brandon David actually sent me that,
Yep.
and man, that stuff's great. I mean, it
See,
will,
guys, I've been
it
telling
will
these guys
pull.
I never use it.
I mean, I use it.
17
I don't
weeks.
use it every day, but I will
No.
use it. I will use it for sure if
It
I can
saves a
start
ton
something.
of time.
Absolutely, yeah, Cola Fria or whatever. It's like it's almost like a butyl tape or something. I don't know what it is, but the stuff's amazing, man. And I see the Brazilian guys using it all the time, and they're using it to, you know, start a lot of the big damage, and you know they even go halfway with it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
But so you're just breaking these down and trying to get to that next
you got
spot, and then just slowly bringing that metal.
And I'm never focused on one area. I mean, I'm scatterbrained when it comes to working on a dent. I mean, I go from one area, and and like me and Chris were talking today, this is an improvisation business, you know.
Yes.
And you know, you have to, those that use improv the best, you know, are the ones that will succeed the best, you know. So I'm just improvising constantly, you know, just like my man Sal Contreras. The guy's a genius, a PDR genius, you know. So, but yeah, so I enjoy it though, man. I gotta say, this is I like getting up in the morning. So
that's
so
awesome.
with your approach of video and the type of damage that you're trying to fix, is there ever a repair that you just couldn't fix, or you started that you couldn't fix, or anything like that?
Absolutely,
because you're right on that edge all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. There's been times when I've pulled the plug. You know, it's a bad day.
Yeah,
I will tell you, when that happens, it's a bad day. But it happens to every technician out there, and you know, go ahead.
In that scenario, real quick, are you a no charge, or you are charging for my time?
I'm walking away, man.
That's all.
I leave it at that, and I let the customer. I will give them referrals to paint shops.
Correct,
but you know, I'll be honest with you. Given the fact that I'm getting a video before I head out there, that actually alleviates any kind of, it brings it down, you know, quite a bit as far as, you know, the percentage of it happening, you know. And the last time that happened was probably about 2 years ago, you know, and it doesn't happen. I mean, it's a bad day for me. I got to kill something and drag it, get it home to the wife and kids.
So I know everybody's waiting on the Stanliner Tools. So
Stanliner Tools.
Yeah. So let's touch on those gems. I know nothing about it. We don't have them on our end. We, you know, but I know you've used them. You use them a lot.
I do, man. I've been using them probably now for about a good solid year. You know, the Thomas sent me, let's see here. First tool he sent me was the SDT tool. I don't know if you know what that is, but man, I wish I had them on me right now. I probably should have had them with me. But basically just a double bend, comes to a knife. It's got a kind of a, you know, hook.
Pirate hook.
It's not just kind of like a kind of a hook, you know. It's a double bend. Just picture like a double bend ultra shaved to a knife.
Got it.
Okay, it's called the SDT, and that right there is probably one of the most versatile tools I think that they have, and that's only produced by Casimir's. I think, yeah, that one right there. one of the things that people don't realize is with these tools, like the steel is, it's some of the best steel on the planet. It really is. I'm not just saying that. And these guys don't pay me for any of this stuff. I mean, I really believe in these tools. They're amazing. Yeah. The steel is just, I think, very kind of soft in a way. It bends. Like I actually, on some of these like knife tools, like you can actually form them just like you would any other Dentcraft tool, whatever. So they kind of conform to the crevice that you're going to put them in, and you can kind of like, let's say, take that SDT tool and put it down into from a tail light into a rear quarter panel right to the edge of the wheel well, you know, that real tight area. So, so when you get it in there and you really kind of force it in and you pull it out, you'll see it's kind of conformed to that, to that bend. And now the beauty of these tools is that, you know, a lot of them have the rounds at the end. They're just round shaved. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about like really nasty like boogers or, you know, real you know, coming through the paint or something, because they're leaving just a really nice clean finish every time you apply a push. So you know, whether it's twisting, blending, just you know, pushing, whatever you're doing with these tools, there's so many functions. I sound like a salesman, this guy, but I do. Well, I use them every day, man.
People are interested in them. I don't have them. I don't think any of us have them. But a lot of people are really interested in, in them mean, and how honestly, they work, because they look so weird. They're not your standard tool.
Yeah, that's my favorite, I think, of all of them that I use every day is the SDT. I think actually A1 has a version of the SDT. So if you go online, I'm not sure of exactly. I can actually pull it up here. I don't know.
I got it.
So
right
here.
I got it right there. Right here? Long neck door tool. There you go. That's the one. So that one there is
sold
awesome.
Out.
Sold
so
out,
which diameter do you have?
So that's a 3/8, and it's a 28¼ inch long, and really nice tool, man. It's just the craftsmanship's amazing. But what I like the most is that knife at the end, man. It's just, you have to really use them. It's a great twister. Just really good for getting. I like to use them for, you know, cutting braces sometimes if you need to get down a door or something like that. You can use it as just a regular door hook tool. So
what tool did this replace?
That's a good question, man. I don't know. I think this is an original design.
No, I'm talking about, you know, in your
what did it replace? Okay,
mine. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think it probably, you know, every tool is so unique, man, and they have their place.
They all have their purpose.
They really do. I think I just, it's like discovering something for the first time. When you use these tools, it really is. It's really amazing. Just the cleanliness of the work, the change in your work quality. I mean, in general. It really shows through.
Now, are you using Casimir's technique?
Yeah, you know, that's another thing. Yeah, I was not trained by Casimir's. I had no formal training from him. I've always just kind of watched the videos. I did talk with him for a long time at the seminars, the PDR college seminars that we were putting on there, and I did learn a lot just speaking with him. You know, using and his relatives there, and so, you know, just that alone, applying them to the tools that I already have, it's been a big change in the work quality, I think. You know, and not only the work quality, the speed at which you can produce the quality. Yeah. So, you know, it's just changed the way I work. It really has. You know. So,
now,
go ahead.
Just a quick thing. You said A1 either sells the tool or they make a version of the tool.
Well, they actually have a ratcheting handle version, I believe. Okay, and
is it made by Stanliner?
It's made by it's made by A1, but it's the design, same design, same. I think it's the same shaft, 3/8, and it's got the knife at the end. So if you go to A1, I can pull them up real quick.
I can pull it. I just want to make sure that I don't want to buy like a copy version of it or something.
Same
Because I know
quality.
you were talking about
Right.
the metal was different. So
Yeah, you're right. If you can get that tool from them over in Lithuania, that's probably going to be your best bet. I mean, nothing against A1. I'm sure their tool quality is probably just as good either way. But yeah, so the other one that I'm using probably the most, I probably have to say, is the let's see here. I've got a mini version of the SDT. So
okay.
they just sent me that recently, and I'm still doing some testing on that one there. I used it recently for a roof, just inside of one of the braces. But yeah, I mean, those are they're really good for just getting in really tight areas. I would have to say any kind of brace or obstruction. The biggest use for the SDT type tools, and then of course you have the swords, the 27 and the 40, which I think I actually did a review for them as well, and you can use those. Pretty much take the place of any kind of. See, the thing is like you're producing a different type of push with these tools, so I can't really say they're replacing anything. I don't know. It's just, it's a different breed of tool,
I mean, I know you were doing repairs before this tool.
Yeah, I was.
Part of your toolbox. I'm just, sometimes I go, man, I'm glad I have that tool, but I probably would have used this if I didn't have it.
Right.
But this is the reason why I'm using this tool. So I have a couple of door tools, and I speak on the black handle, and it's basic Dentcraft black handle, but I'm really liking the PDR finesse tools for some of my dual, like the sharp,
got those too,
sharp
man.
picks. So. And so I'm using that more and more, but obviously I recommend the door tools because I've used them for so long, and the price, the black handle,
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out,
Yeah, I mean, the things you can do with these tools are things you can't do your everyday tools, like just the dragging alone. I mean, it's hard to drag a Dentcraft, old school, And these tools, I mean, if I can slide a dent out, I'm going to slide a dent out. Like today, I did a repair on an SL, a newer one, SLK, like the convertible, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was on the just the rear quarter panel, and really, right above the tail lamp in that rear, just the corner area there. Yeah. And it was a crease about maybe 4 inches long, pretty deep on a contour. And I literally just took, let's see, what did I have? I think I had the Stanliner, what the heck was it? What was it? Is it like the sword tool tip?
Sword tool, okay.
And I literally just kind of put a tremendous amount of force behind it. It was very uncomfortable, but I just slid the dent out, and that was it. And I did some tap down work. You're talking about maybe 15 minutes of work, and you walk out of there with close to $400. That is phenomenal,
Right.
And the sliding technique, I'm still.
It's listen, the sliding technique. I will tell you,
I'm getting diagonal pushes. And
yeah, I mean, if you can, start your dents out maybe with with a Delrin tip. Sliding them out and then finishing them with a sharper tip. That is the ultimate way to remove a dent for me. I mean, I'm finding myself just being a lot cleaner in the end. Yeah. But it's money in the bank. If you can just reverse the dent the way it came in, it's money in the bank.
Yeah.
So
we're about to go for Q&A for the people that are watching right now. I just want to definitely touch. Well, actually, we could do it at the end, but let's open up the Q&A for at least 10, 15 minutes, guys. So if you guys have any questions that we didn't speak upon, please leave a question in the chat, And while they're doing that, I'll ask you, for a beginner tech, we may have some beginner techs watching. You know, what is your best advice that you can give them as a fresh tech coming in to kind of help them train, I guess?
Well, let's see here. I would have to say probably do not get discouraged so easily, because it is very discouraging, you know, when you first start out in this field. Learning this takes a tremendous amount of dedication, time, effort, and in the end, skill, which you'll get eventually. Yeah, the key is just perseverance. You know, that is the ultimate key in this business. I mean, if you can learn how to manipulate a reflection in metal, then that is the goal here. You know, I mean, if you can read a reflection, you can read your light. That is probably the single most important thing for a technician. Just knowing how to read your reflection. That's it.
So with that being said, you use a limited light?
Yeah, a limited.
With any board, or just a standard?
I just use I've got two boards. I've got two limited lights. I think they're both the 12-inch. I think they're 12-inch. 14. Yeah. And I use one with you know, for outdoors, like if I'm like using an umbrella. I've got the more
clear,
I guess, not as opaque one. It's like an opaque one, and I've got the more transparent one. For like inside and in out.
Clear lens, yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. I mean, lighting and just reflections in general. That is the goal. That's the key. Just knowing how to read them. So.
Okay, so Straight Line says that your dents are flat and clean. It says, do you do something different than the normal PDR tech, or use a tool different than the normal?
Yeah, you know, honestly,
I think you just go the extra mile. Then
you hit it, man. It's
finishing.
It's perseverance, like I said before. It's you know, like when you get to a certain point of the dent, and some guys will just walk away. I'm going to stay till the end, because for one, the money's probably right, and two, my name's on it. So you know, that's huge as well. So that's how I get those dents so clean. I just stay to the end. So
it's always that last 10 minutes.
That's it.
Is that finishing?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, for me, it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like the last,
no. I totally get it, man.
The waves, and it's the
yeah. That lease return was a prime example. Today, I left that thing like a lease return. I didn't leave it like you know, full retail. Because you know, that
wasn't a Facebook video.
Exactly. Exactly. You got it.
But you know, and that's, you know, and I think that's completely okay. You know, and people get sometimes either caught up on, but with what you're producing, you're setting a bar for people, and for people to hit that bar or try to, at least like myself.
It's only going to make the industry better. It's only going to make everybody look better, man. Exactly. That's the reason why I do this every day. So
the industry's changed so much in the last 8 years. You know,
yes,
what I mean?
It
Back
has.
in the day, I've been doing it since 2001, and it's totally different. I mean,
wow, you've been in the game for a while, man. I didn't realize that.
I'm an old whiz.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Wiz, Den Wizard, man. I wish I would have been trained by them. Actually,
they figured it out.
They definitely have it down to a science, man. They're really good at their training. So
we've got he's asking you, do you use line or fog?
Always fog. Yeah, always fog. I mean, I use natural reflection about maybe 75% of the way in. So. You know,
really,
the light is the just kind of roughing, and then the very sharp edge of the light, or just the black part of the light, is the line that I use for referencing at the end. You know,
I got you.
Interesting.
So what is the next question? Are you? Let me reword this. Are you always completely satisfied with every repair, or every ever not satisfied?
Yeah, you know, I'm always completely satisfied with every repair given the circumstances. You
Right.
know, depending on what the customer is demanding, that is, you know, my objective. And if I can, you know, overachieve, I certainly will. But if they just are totally cool with the way it's coming out and I'm cool with it, then I'm walking away with a check. That's all that
See,
matters.
you sleep good
You're
every
2
night.
hours into your finishing
That's
time.
it. That's it.
That's
2 hours of my
great.
finish.
So we have a few questions. Do you remember the tools you used on the blue Dodge Ram passenger side fender? And he's probably
Jeez,
talking about
that thing
whatever.
was so
around.
nasty.
That was ridiculous.
That was
Yeah, that was one of those dents where
get a new like, geez.
I took
And I'm
yeah,
like, Bryce, like, really?
I told the guys, like, man, just put a new fender on that thing, man. He's like I used to be a body guy and I don't want I don't want to paint this electric blue color. I don't want to repaint the whole side of my brand new truck. Literally had 500 miles on the truck, you know. So
Wow.
you know, unfortunately had a chip, but you know, the guy wanted that thing out using
But you know,
paint.
fortunately, you came in and did what you did, and
Yeah,
all there
no,
was a chip.
yeah, I mean that it worked out really well, you know, as far as getting paid for it. And you know, the only downside was that was a really long drive for me, and I actually never saw that vehicle.
Wow.
I saw it through video, and I was
Wow.
like, when I got there, let's just say I was about to get back in my truck because it was
So you
so
remember the
bad.
tools that you used?
Yeah, do you remember a specific tool that you used? You know,
Kind of made that
like
Yeah.
easier.
Mainly for the edges. I mean, those
Yeah,
edges were
yeah,
really,
that was I actually remember I used I started out with some glue pulling just to kind of get the framework going, you know, with the edge to kind of line up to the door. And from there I went to the really, really deep stuff because I knew that if I went to the really, really deep stuff, things would start to come together and like you know, all the just kind of like the framework would all kind of come together and build it up. So
the puzzle, you were just putting those pieces
exactly.
together.
So yeah, we started with some glue pulling, some centipedes with some K-bar on that, and then I went to a, let's see here, what did I use? Oh, dent dial. I had a 35 heavy with me. Just you know, I wrapped the ends with tape, Tessa tape, and I just use those. Just you know,
flat,
just kind of bring up the meat, and then go to a 35 light to kind of do the next stage, and then just finished it off with little Stanliner Tools to kind of get, you know, to the very edge of the dents, you know, just in those really tight areas. Like I use that SDT tool. I use that. That was great because it kind of conformed to the very edge to get in there, and then just kind of, you know, twist. You know, it gives it just an awesome clean effect. So, but
you're selling it. I guess I gotta buy it.
So we're gonna just blaze through these questions. I'm actually interested in this. What is your favorite go-to, I guess, the tool for crowns? Is it a blending hammer? Is it, I don't know, it depends on what crown, but maybe you go through two different types of crowns.
Yeah, man, there's so many different ways to attack crowns, but I like let's see here. I don't have this tool, but it's kind of like a spoon tool that you know, that I'm trying to get like the master tool, I guess they call it. I use basically a what's that Kiko.
The flat
Kiko.
The rectangle.
I really like that thing because it just, man, metal to metal is the key. Just sending vibrations. If you can get it like a kind of picture that flat area up against like a, you know, a crown, and you know, you strike that thing with bare metal, it's just gonna, you know, providing that you've already done the work before,
right? Of course, to give it some, to give it some guidance.
You know, if you shock that thing, it's just gonna just
Yeah.
flatten out, and it goes away. The cleanliness is just awesome. And
Wow.
I use that with either a hammer or actually, believe it or not, I put that on an ultra tap down. So I'll screw that tip onto a tap down, like a metal knockdown. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's pretty amazing. Like when that kind of like all the stars align and that you've done all the work and now you're ready to slap that crown, that thing just like gone. So and there's like barely any work to do.
Keep going. I just want to pull it up for the people watching.
So, but yeah, that's that and the Craftsman hammer are my two biggest.
Craftsman hammer. He said
dude, the Craftsman hammer. I don't care what anybody says about the Craftsman hammer, because I started with the Craftsman hammer, and to this day I use it every single day. That is my hammer. Yeah. So
just to make sure, this is I'm gonna broadcast this real quick just to make sure that the gentleman has it. This is what you're speaking about right here, right?
Yeah. I use I like to use that either on a blending hammer or on just a knockdown hammer, or like I said, on a knockdown. So depending on the circumstance. So
gotcha.
And Chris, I think you can buy just that tip separate. It doesn't have to come with that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So
you sure can. Yeah. And it comes with a rubber cap, you can use as well.
Cover.
But I'm not always using that. I use quite a bit of different techniques and tools for crowns. So that's just one of them for sure.
What's your
Go ahead.
Sure.
I was going to ask him what his strategy was to get customers going through sticker shock of a larger repair, and to get them to pull the trigger. Is it just the way you're talking to them, or?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, a lot of the work has already been kind of laid out, and it's there for them to see. So if you can show people what you're doing, and if you can do these repairs to as good as you can get them on film, then that really speaks volumes with people. So there's really not a lot of
That's
convincing to be done. Like they typically are being sold on the visuals or the examples. So if you do find yourself in a sales situation, I guess you could say, where you have to talk to customers, which trust me, I do a lot of talking. You want to sell yourself and your skills, and you really have to believe in what you're doing. If you don't believe for 1 minute that you're the best guy in town, or you're it kind of shows. So you just have to have a kind of a level of confidence and just talk to the people the way you want to be spoken to. So professionalism, it goes a really long way in this industry, because people are so used to the guy coming up in the parking lot, hey man, you want me to fix that dent for you? So the gypsies. Yeah. So it's definitely something that you're going to have to work on in terms of the selling aspect. That's a huge part in getting these jobs as well. So PDR college, definitely help you out in that aspect. So
definitely.
If I can should put that out there. But.
And I love PDR college.
Oh man, they
especially. Like, I remember the first 10 episodes. I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, man. Take my money.
Yes. Yes.
So Bryce, do you ever want a retail location, or you just kind of like the way you're doing it now?
No. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I like keeping my money. You know what I mean?
You don't like expenses.
100%.
So expenses. I mean, listen, man, you guys have a crazy awesome operation, Chris. I've seen your stuff online, and trust me, there's days that go by that I'm like, man, that would be nice to have that. And
so
trust
nice.
me,
I know.
Yo, I really would love to have that, but in the reality of my situation, I just prefer bringing myself to the customer. It's a selling tool kind of for me that I use for convenience purposes, but you know, there's guys that have shops that sell against me for having a shop. But you know, it's a matter of overhead expenses and things like that. I like to try to keep things as low as possible. That's one of the reasons that really, it's kind of one of the attractions to the industry, was kind of the low overhead stuff.
Right.
You know, it's still low overhead if you have a shop, but it's definitely I like the aspect of being able to drive around and
it adds up very quickly because I still have fleet vehicles and
no, I totally get it, man. Yeah.
So this is a question. We're just gonna go around the room here. Dendal and Dakana. I'm Dendal. Bryce.
Dendal.
Ryan.
Dental.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I thought these were like code names. I'm like, I don't have a code name. No, let's see here.
Do you have an
definitely Dental.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry. I listen, I'm sure that Anaconda works, and I just versatility, man. You know, it's like
exactly.
Man, I'm definitely a Dental guy. So
thanks, Steven. So do you have the slapper tapper from Sal?
I do. I do. That's one of the well, I still have quite a bit of brushing up to do on that. I'm decent with it. There's definitely a learning curve, but I will tell you, like I spoke about that Keko knockdown, or that whatever that spoon guy is there, that similar effect. You know, Sal talks about the nothing mark. You know, it's essentially what you're doing. You're leaving nothing. So
yeah. So I think we went over this one question. So how are you dealing with, I guess he's asking how you dealing with the high strength steel that these cars are coming out with aluminum. I think high strength steel is way different than aluminum.
Way different.
It's worse for me. It's harder for me. I don't know.
Listen, man, it's harder for everyone. And I got news for you. You're gonna hear a lot more about it. So you know, it's stronger metal. It's more lightweight. That's why these manufacturers are using the high strength steel. But you know, with it comes extra expense from people like us, because we have to work extra hard to move that stuff, and it's very it doesn't cooperate like aluminum. I can kind of compare it to aluminum. You know, aluminum is a bear, just like high strength steel. And you know, if you're ever in doubt that it could be possibly high strength steel, it is high strength steel. Hence the 50% markup.
Correct.
So
are you using Mobile Tech RX?
Yes, I'm using Mobile Tech RX on every estimate that I give. Only thing I don't use Mobile Tech RX for is invoicing. I prefer to use it just as an estimation software. I use QuickBooks. I mean, I could literally sync them together, but I've found it to be better standalone. But I do use it, yes, very often. I pay for the service every month, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. It is now 10:14. So, is there anything
that went crazy fast?
Hey, you gave us some good knowledge. Hopefully to have you on the show again for sure. I'm pretty sure we didn't get to everything. I'm just going through the questions here to make sure we covered at least most of the questions. We had one little quick question while I'm going through. It says, how do you handle the heat and humidity in Florida? I mean, I would love to live in Florida, I tell you that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Florida's nice, man, except for the humidity. It's bad. It's like rainforest. It's like Brazil here.
What glue are you using primarily? If you do have to glue pull, what color?
Man, my go-to every single day is that tab weld, man. I gotta be honest with you. Listen.
That's how I was, and I don't know. Ryan turned me on to the green.
Listen, don't get me wrong, man. The green is awesome. And that's what I started out with. The green, I definitely use the green. I use the pink. The gray or tab weld is what I've just kind of come to the conclusion that that's my everyday, you know. And I try a lot of glues. And you know what's really funny is that, not to get too deep here, but I ran out of tab weld the other day, and I started using some Ace hardware, some old school Ace hardware, dude. And man, that stuff is insane. Yo, like it's like it had me like, what? I was like, I just was wrapping this this Toyota Tacoma in a cab corner, and I could not believe the strength of this stuff. It was blowing me away. And I actually finished the repair with just the Ace hardware amber. Wow. And so there's a little tidbit right there, man. If you ever run out of glue and you don't have access to tab weld right away, go down to your local Ace hardware, my friends.
The amber, not the clear.
The amber, you have to make sure.
That's the kicker right there. We're gonna go buy the clear.
I think the amber is the extra strength.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And it shows.
Yes. Yes, good stuff, man.
I did
Smells
just start
real
using
funky,
the hog
but...
glue.
Yeah, I heard good things about that, man.
It's pretty good, actually.
Is it?
I'm kind of dabbling. I'm
good.
Really stuck on the green, but it's not bad stuff.
Yeah, dude, I love the green too. I really do. I really do. So,
nice.
What else? Is that it, or
we're done?
All right.
That was like lightning, man.
You said what? I'm sorry.
No, I said that was like lightning.
I have one more. I just have one more question.
Go ahead, Dave.
Sure, man.
So, just what are your future plans with Brice Kelly and Central Florida Dent Repair? Like, is there anything that's next, or like this is, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad you kind of brought that up. I'm gonna be dabbling into training. I think it's gonna be coming soon. Because there's a little bit of a demand there, and
there is.
I've actually
proper.
Yeah, I mean, I've had guys from all over the world reaching out to me, man. Like, and I'm like,
yes,
wow, that's pretty awesome.
It's there.
Yeah. So
sign me up. I'm coming.
Yeah. I think it's going to be great. If it's not going to be one-on-one, it'll definitely be video tutorial stuff that you can purchase, full repairs, online. We're just, I'm in the works possibly with somebody else doing this, but not 100% yet. This is just stuff being kind of thrown around. So
yeah, definitely. Right. No, that's awesome to hear. I mean, that's kind of just, I was wondering what's going to be, are you just going to be doing, big repairs for the rest of your life until you're like 80? No, kind of wanting to know like what's next. It's that, and that's awesome to hear.
The crazy thing is, man, it just never gets old. I don't know, to me, and people think it's dumb to work on big stuff, and I love it. If there's money to be made and I could support my family, I'm doing it every day.
Yes.
It is what it is.
I agree.
Do you use a Porta Power much?
Yes.
See.
Go get you that Porta Power.
Yes.
The other day, I had to walk away from this. Yeah, it was bad.
$179.99 at Harbor Freight.
I need to go get it. I just haven't gone to get it.
Nice.
You never think that you would use it, man, until you need it. It's like
I had this nasty
old baseball glove is what I use on some of the bigger stuff. If you use an old wore out baseball glove in the end, it doesn't. Oh man, it works out amazing.
That's a good idea, man. I might have to steal that. I'm gonna steal that tip.
Perfect.
Steal that tip.
What it's here for.
I like that.
All right, well, I appreciate you, Brice, for coming on. I know it's late.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on, man. I can say that I had a really good time. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
well, go ahead. How can people get in contact with you, Brice? Let's do that, again.
Yeah, I am actually on Facebook at I'm not sure what the URL is, but you just type Central Florida Dent Repair or Brice Kelly, it'll come up. And as well as YouTube channel. Not sure the URL as well. I think you could just search for.
We're gonna put all your links. Yeah, we're gonna put all your links. And
stuff,
so.
And then directly 386-216-5185. If you have any general questions, or email Brice@cfldentrepair.com.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So
for the
Thank you,
Dave.
man.
All right. Thank you.
Dave, Windy City Dent Repair, like usual.
Ryan, RPS.
Yes,
Dent
sir.
Repair.
Thank you so
All right.
much, Bryce. I
All right,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
Definitely.
We'll see you,
Appreciate
man.
it, guys.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Have a
man.
good night.
You too.